Hello, and welcome to the second exhibition match of Custom Craziness. This is the second of three exhibition matches. This match is Dark Souls and Weirdos on the left versus Jedi Order and Djinni on the right. You can find summaries of the decks in the description, but for now I think we're just going to jump right in. We'll start by going over the starting hands and the bases so you can pause on any cards that you need to. These guys have an okay opening hand. Having Seath and Contrarian off the bat is really good. If they could find Gravelord Nito midway through the game, that'll be excellent. But having these two at least is quite good on its own. And over here we've got all of these. Two of those, one of those, and you. So this is definitely their opening turn. All of these require minion modifiers, but these two are actually going to work together a little bit. But we'll get to that when we get to it. For now, since Dark Soul Weirdos are the lower seed, they will be going first. And this is a pretty strange opening base spread. None of them are particularly big, none of them are particularly valuable either. So I think what they might do here is stage Seath on Shambhala. And with Elysium out, they might be able to double score with the Contrarian, something with Elysium. Maybe even throw Force and Nibel in there while they're at it, but we'll see how that goes. For now, I think we're just going to do Seath, and we'll notate the breakpoint increase to 23, and they're not going to play in action. Okay, Phantom Allies will be good for tempo, and yeah, they could have done the monster. I don't think it's worth it, just because this is already so much of a breakpoint increase. Let's see. Where are they playing Plo Koon? Worst case scenario, from their perspective, if they did have a Contrarian in hand, that would be 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 8 from the big breakpoint drop is 15 exactly, which would solo this, which is unfortunate, but it would only be losing out on one VP, and I don't think it's worth losing Plo Koon for that, because they need to start building future counters pretty quickly. So I think they're going to play Plo Koon on Forest of Nibel or Elysium, one or the other. Again, with that worst case scenario, if Seath came over to Elysium, that's a 12 by himself. Plo Koon is, what is that, 16? So not quite enough. But it is getting pretty close. So maybe they play Plo Koon on Forest of Nibel. Maybe angle toward something over there. So we'll do Plo Koon. We'll do Force Meditation. Okay, we got Shakti. Future draw counter. I'm going to be using white for those. And Plo Koon. I think we want to be focused on draw right now because this hand isn't very good. See, I'm going to use white for draw. I'll use green for power counter. And probably yellow for reshuffle. And turn. Okay, so they got some minion modifiers, so these minions aren't useless anymore, especially Dreamy Genie with Wish for Power. That's good. Dark Weirdos, for their part, could very well take that 3 VP solo, especially with Phantom Allies as an action to play. Getting a Contrarian in the discard is certainly okay, but it is a little awkward not having one in hand anymore. They could just take it. Like, Dark Weirdos, obviously, we're okay with the worst case scenario, and using Seath multiple times potentially is a really appealing idea. And you can always store it to zero that out anyway. So I think we're going to be okay with that. So we'll do Contrarian, use the talent on Seath. So the breakpoint is increased by -8. TTS lag spike, thank you. Down by another 8 to 7. And then they'll play Phantom Allies. Doesn't matter. I'll put it on Elysium. Actually, no. Elysium's not smart because the breakpoint here is going to be 12. It'll be at 4 out of 12. That's not quite as safe as Force of Nibel. So they'll play Phantom Allies on Force of Nibel. Alright. Shambhala scores. Neither team has anything worth playing. Dark Weirdos will get 3 VP. And Seath will move over with Elysium. Contrarian goes away. And, oh, this is still changed until the start of the turn. So this goes down to 12 for now. Burning building. Okay. So now we check for bases. So burning building gets a counter. They don't work for scripting, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to do this manually. That's okay. And now, end of their turn. Okay. That's not bad. Okay. For their part, it's very possible that Jedi will be able to capitalize on Elysium, get Seath out of play, because that's going to be important to make sure they don't win that base. Because letting Dark Souls get ahead is not usually a good idea. And let's see, they could do Wish for Power, Dreamy Genie, Wish for Power, and that's there's no way to put all of the power on their minions and have it matter. What they could do is Wish for Power, Gin and Tonic, wish to be the strongest minion, and that would be 14, and they win the base 7 to 4. Because if you read Wish for Power, the minion has the power for Wish to be the strongest minion, but it won't count for scoring. So that is a way. That's kind of expensive though, and well, okay. It does at least use Plo Koon to the fullest. So maybe we draw one more card to see what our options are. I'm not going to use both counters though, because we got to keep some of them. Okay, another Gin and Tonic. Yeah, I think we're okay with this. So we do Wish for Power. And Plo Koon reacts. It's not going to matter. Draw first. Gin and Tonic, strongest minion. Seath is the strongest minion, so Gin and Tonic has +4. And Plo Koon reacts again for a power counter. Future power counter. Alright, and Elysium is scoring now. Neither team has any applicable specials. So Jedi score 2, Dark Weirdos score 1. Getting Seath out of play, very worth it. And we'll get rid of these so they're not. Ooh. There we go. Pumpkin Patch. Okay. We have to do Burning Building twice. Oops. There we go. And end of turn. Alright, for their part, Dark Weirdos are very mad about that because they have chosen Undead. But Phantom Allies to draw 2 draw counters, 2 reshuffle counters. And I usually like to not shuffle in the first Phantom Allies, especially this early in the game, though. It could be worth it to potentially have a greater chance of seeing it, because those draw counters could pay dividends. So I think I will shuffle it into my deck. Now what we can do here is play Chosen Undead on Forest of Nibel and threaten Plo Koon. No good action to play, except perhaps off, but that's going to rely on us seeing Contrarian again. We could also do off on Plo Koon. That's not the best, though. So maybe they just do Voodoo Doll for now. Although, no. I think Chosen Undead is okay, because they have another one in hand. This is a valid target for it. And they can play either off or well, they can play off on either of those minions, and it's okay. Building it attachments for Liquid Humanity might be important. Obviously over here they've got a wish for invincibility, but they don't know that. They can suspect that it might be happening eventually, but it's hard to tell when that's going to happen. I think it is okay to play off. Keeps the base a little ways away from breaking. And if they do see another Contrarian, then great. But that's end of turn. They have to reduce burning building. Okay. Now we turn our attention back to Jedi. Parry is definitely good to get Wish for Power. And that'll be good for farming Plo Koon if he stays around. So they could just do parry, Wish for Invincibility on the Chosen Undead, get rid of off. Because that is a threat. Like, they've already seen one Contrarian, so it's not the most likely thing that they have another one, but it's usually better to prepare for the worst. So yes, I think we will do that. Let's play parry on Pumpkin Patch, places the counter, mark that with a stasis counter. If there is a counter on the base, it means a +1. I'll try my best to keep track of that consistently. Parry will store Wish for Power. Play Wish for Invincibility. It actually is a bit of a choice, because Plo Koon isn't negatively affected by Wish for Invincibility. We do have a Dreamy Genie in hand, so it might be nice to leave that avenue open, and playing it on the Chosen Undead gets rid of off, which is valuable as well. I think we'll play it antagonistically. Get rid of off. Because, yes, playing it on the Chosen Undead does signal that they have a plan for it, and Wish for Invincibility kind of makes sure that that doesn't happen. And Plo Koon will react for a power counter. That's usually the option I prefer with Plo Koon. The first turn is just a special case where we weren't guaranteed to have a good hand of stuff next turn. We happen to draw into good stuff, but better safe than sorry usually. And that's minion in action. We place a counter on Burning Building. That's starting to get down there. It's going to get pretty competitive soon. We could see some stuff with Shock T potentially. Alright, now Dark Souls again. It's hard to know where to go from here, because Burning Building is getting significantly more tension. We know parry is prying to do some damage. We can't break anything, obviously. So what we might want to do is Chosen Undead on Burning Building, or even on Pumpkin Patch, and play the other off on parry, because that'll make it harder for them to pivot to break either of these bases. Actually, they do know that they have Shakti, because that's what was seen with Forest Meditation. So yeah, they could definitely try to stage some stuff to wreak havoc on Burning Building. Let's see, that would be 2 power. Shakti would be 4. That would be 5 if off is played. So that's 2 plus 4 is 6. 7 out of it would be 13 at the end of their turn. With these abilities, there's not much they can do. There's Dark Souls can't do enough to swing the base, which is unfortunate. So I guess it's more about having presence. And in that regard, having presence on Pumpkin Patch is definitely more important. But again, Burning Building's more likely to break. So maybe we do the Voodoo Doll instead, because that's a less valuable minion than Chosen Undead. And I think we still play off on parry. So that's a net of -2 there. And that will make it harder to break Burning Building. And Pumpkin Patch for what it's worth. So we end turn. This gets a counter. Ooh, another 4. That's good. And this is why we have the marks out. Alright, over here. Shakti. Voodoo Doll is less than Chosen Undead, and yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I was thinking that there was still a Chosen Undead here for some reason. So they need 13 here to break the base if they want to do that. And it looks like the opportunity is presenting itself. Would be nice if it would be nice if they could do this without losing parry and or Plo Koon. They have 2 future power counters. They've got Defenders of the Galaxy. Shakti alone is 6, 7, like we were saying earlier. Parry's talent makes 10. Defenders is what we need. So that's a way to do it, but that's pretty expensive. Just using the power counters is only 12 instead of Defenders. Gin and Tonic to get rid of off. Is that enough? Or Dreamy Genie. Let's think here. Parry would play this on the Voodoo Doll. This is going to be hard to actually win, but we're just seeing if it can break. Parry plays Wish for Power on Voodoo Doll for 5. Genie is 7. Power is 10. Counters are 12. That's still not enough. I've got Ifrit in hand. Ifrit's fun. Yeah, it's kind of looking like the only way to do this is the expensive way. It's unfortunate. Yeah, especially considering off is doing its job on defense in this scenario. The other option is we get rid of Plo Koon, but we don't have any of the lightsabers yet, and Plo Koon is the best source of future counters that's not from the lightsabers. We should expect to see them soon enough, though, I think. Even with 27 cards left in deck, like there's 3 sabers, there's Obi-Wan, Wish for More Wishes kind of gets you one some of the time. So it might not be the worst to get rid of Plo Koon instead of Parry, because that is more efficient in terms of uh, cards as well. We don't have to spend any of the counters for this. One of the holdouts about that is that Parry can't play the action on itself, and we can't play it on the Chosen Undead because of Wish for Invincibility, so we would only get one of Plo Koon's procs, which isn't the biggest deal in the world. So I guess it would mean Parry's using its talent to store Wish to be the strongest minion, which is nice for flexibility. Because, yes, that is the only other modifier down there. Yeah, it's not the worst thing ever. We would be left with 3 future power counters, 2 future draw counters. It's not the best, not the worst. Yeah, I think we'll lock that in. I was hoping to farm Plo Koon for a little bit longer. And then defenders. And we store Wish to be the strongest minion. Yeah. Oh, defenders reduce this breakpoint. Yeah, end of the turn, so we're not going to bother keeping track of that. All right, burning building. Oh, Plo Koon. Let's not forget about that. Reacting to playing defenders. All right. Now burning building is scoring. It's one of your actions. Yeah. All right. They don't have anything, I don't think. Cursed. Yeah, no. I mean, technically, we can do this. Whoop-de-doo. But, yeah, they would need another minion there to stasis Plo Koon. Not that that would do anything either. Yeah, that's it. Got 3 over here, 1 over here. Daybreak Tavern. That's a fun base. Ooh, the other wish for power. Lovely. Alright. The Dark Weirdos could box Bed of Chaos for Daybreak, but this deck doesn't play Lord of Cinder at all. So I don't think that's worth pursuing, especially since we don't get the soul card out of it. What we could do is play Bed of Chaos on Force of Nibel, threaten getting that with the Chosen Undead. That's certainly significantly faster than playing it somewhere else. The other option is they push Pumpkin Patch with Bed of Chaos, which might be better because it's a more valuable base. So the ability on Bed of Chaos might matter more. Hover over it so you can read it for a sec. It's hard to say. I do think I like pushing Pumpkin Patch though. So maybe we do Bed of Chaos and off count there if we expect it to score, because I do think that puts pressure on the base to score one way or the other. And so putting off count there speculatively to maybe draw a couple cards would be nice. Yeah, let's do that. Counter comes off. Yeah, so now they have -1 power. Yeah. Parry is a 0. Bed of Chaos is 3. And that was minion and action. Draw 2. Start of the turn. Bed of Chaos places a mark. Oh, funny thing. That's actually going to turn Pumpkin Patch on permanently. There's a counter on the base. Marks are counters. That's funny, actually. Didn't consider that, but I think that's fine, actually. Definitely pushes things, and it's going to make off count better. Yeah, off count. Pumpkin Patch is a great base for off count. Because outside of extenuating circumstances, it's going to draw a card for each minion there. Okay. Well, they tried to do Oblivious and Introvert. This is Wish for Invincibility on the other half of the equation. Alright. Plo Koon is gone. Sad face. They kind of are okay with boxing a Dreamy Genie here, because they can play Ifrit. It doesn't do anything right now, but they do have Wish for Power. It is a little risky to... Oh, well, no, they've got Wish for Invincibility to give counters with Ifrit. Yeah, let's box a Dreamy Genie and see what we get. We do have to play our next minion here, which is going to be Ifrit. We can do Wish to be the strongest minion on parry. We can also do Wish to be the strongest minion on Bed of Chaos. And that'll give us better stuff for Ifrit as well. And we can play Wish for Power as well. In fact, maybe we play Wish for Power on Ifrit. Start pushing stuff on Daybreak. I like that idea. Play Wish to be the strongest minion on Bed of Chaos. The strongest other minion there is Parry, who is a 2. So Bed of Chaos will also become a 2. My normal action will be Wish for Power on Ifrit. Then Ifrit will use its talent to place a power counter on itself on Bed of Chaos, which isn't going to add power yet, and on Chosen Undead. That is minion and action and talents of various kinds, so we're good. Ooh, Wish to win a base. Good find. Alright. We do Bed of Chaos counter. Oh, that's not right. There we go. Now, Wish to be the strongest minion is interesting. Because if we get a bigger minion there, then Bed of Chaos will scale with it. I don't think we can get a bigger minion there, though. Seems kind of hard. So what we could do is Chosen Undead to at least get the Bed of Chaos soul card. That seems kind of smart. Looking at the options, Izalith. We're not seeing many of the boxed cards this game, so that might not be the best option. Chaos Flame. Chaos Flame is probably okay. It's not the most potent against Jedi because a lot of their resources come from places outside their hand, like their future counters and their minion modifiers, which can be played in various ways. But I think it still might be better than Izalith here because we're not seeing the buried cards. So yes, I think that is what we do. So we do Chosen Undead. We could do Oblivious on parry, but it's not like they can play Wish to be the strongest minion on parry. They're definitely doing this. That doesn't do anything, but we're still gonna keep track of it. Yeah, remove one. Oh, that's actually fun that it could remove the marks. That's funny. Huh, that's interesting. Huh. I have to keep that in mind. I don't think it's going to be relevant here because I don't think Bed of Chaos is going to get to 5, but we'll see. Maybe we do Oblivious on Ifrit to get rid of Wish for Power, because Wish for Power bouncing around is kind of not great to have lying around. I think I like that. Yeah. All right. Oh, and this guy has +1. Cursed could very easily stasis this parry, because it is a 2 right now. It's -3 from off, +1 from the base. And now there are 2 minions there. Okay, are they doing Daybreak again? I don't think so. I think they're going to try and go for Pumpkin Patch. We do these Bed of Chaos counter mark. With Wish for Power out of commission. Oh, Wish to be the strongest minion goes away. And now this minus power goes away. Hmm. Their best action to play right now is probably either Force Push or Force Meditation, depending on what we want. Because of off count, we want to try and avoid doing too many minions there. It's not like we can add more than one anyway. Gin and Tonic to get rid of off is a pretty big power spike. And we can put Wish for Power or Wish to be the strongest minion on somebody for a bit more. So Gin and Tonic would be a 4 on Pumpkin Patch for 14. Destroying off adds another 3 for 17. Wish for Power is 3 for 20. If it makes 21, the future counters would make 24. I don't know if I want to spend them all, though. The other option is Wish to be the strongest minion on Chosen Undead, because the biggest minion there is definitely going to be Bed of Chaos. But the power is already pretty tight. It's very unfortunate that we don't have a minion modifier in hand, or indeed an action worth playing. Maybe we use a draw counter. Maybe we use a draw counter and see what we get with that, because that could give us a minion modifier to play. The other option is a Dreamy Genie. That's certainly an option. A Dreamy Genie would be 14. Well, you play Wish for Power first. That is 14 on somebody. probably Bed of Chaos if we're assuming that Dark Weirdos are going to want to destroy it if it doesn't swing the base. So that would be 14 power. Dreamy Genie is 17. Play Wish for Power again is 20. Eh. The other option is Wish to win a base, which could pretty easily be a good option because we've got a pretty big deficit there. It would be 7 to 9. But Chosen Undead destroying Bed of Chaos would undo that. So that's not a good idea. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards use a draw counter right now. None of these options are very appealing. Wish for Fame. That could be really good. Especially since the only minion that they can move over is the Chosen Undead, which it can't because of Wish for Invincibility. So we're just worrying about the Weirdo 2s, which neither of which are very threatening. Maybe Voodoo Doll is threatening, but Introvert's not very threatening because it'll just move away. Is that mandatory, actually? Okay, it is optional, which makes sense. But they would want to move it away, probably, if they're destroying Bed of Chaos. Do have to measure things carefully. But, okay, Wish for Fame is an action to play. And it's a minion modifier, which is good for Ifrit. So maybe we do Gin and Tonic to destroy off. And that would be 15, 18 by destroying off by itself. Wish for Power would be 21. Wish for Fame for Dreamy Genie would be 23. And we could replay, actually doesn't matter, we could just replay Wish for Invincibility or something. And then if it adds the last power we would need. And I think that avoids deficits from Wish for Power or just general deficits. And the only thing we have to worry about is maybe a Voodoo Doll from Dark Weirdos. Because that's 5 effective power towards winning the base. How much power would they have? They would have 4 plus 5 is 9. Wish for Power makes 12. Genie makes 15. Ifrit makes 16, compared to 11 maximum if it's a Voodoo Doll, and that would swing the base with Chosen Undead and Voodoo. I think they might have to risk it just to push tempo, because you have to play relatively uh, normally paced against Dark Souls, or else they're just gonna snowball ahead of you. But if we put Wish for Invincibility on the parry, then Chosen Undead can no longer swing the base because it can't destroy parry at all. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that sold me. Gin and Tonic gets rid of off. Oh, I forgot about the Wish for Fame power from Ifrit as well. Wish for Fame plays Dreamy Genie. Oh, we gotta hold on. Before we do Wish for Fame's talent, Parry will play Wish for Power. Then we play Dreamy Genie with Wish for Fame to replay Wish for Power. Or I thought we were replaying Wish for Invincibility. No, I think we want to keep Wish for Invincibility over there. Keep it from doing stuff. And it's more sources of stuff for later. Replay Wish for. Oh, at the point with that was we were avoiding what's it called from swinging the base. I do have to be cognizant of wish for power drawback. In which case, it might be better to play wish for power on somebody else, unless we just replay wish for invincibility. I'm just gonna remove the mark. I'm just gonna remove one more actually. Which thing do we replay? There's an argument for both. I think we do this way because I think it adds more effective power. Like as far as winning the base goes, because invincibility, well, invincibility adds 2 actually, whereas power kind of only adds 1. Yeah. Well, no. No. Replaying Wish for Power undoes the offset on Gin and Tonic, so it actually adds 4. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it. Yeah. Yeah, so Wish for Power replaying Wish for Power effectively adds 4, whereas replaying Invincibility effectively adds kind of 2, kind of 1. If we had distributed these a little bit more smartly, like playing Wish for Fame on parry, then it would add 2. Yeah, but power is better regardless. And Wish for Fame gives these guys an opportunity to use it. They can't move, they can only play, and that was another argument for replaying power over invincibility, is it restricts their options. Yeah, they don't have anything that can swing the base. Getting rid of parry. Oh, let's not forget the Dreamy Genie power. I think the number of marks on here is slightly incorrect, but it's been 3 turns, and there were 2 minions there before. Yeah, there would still be a counter on the base. Just barely. Although there actually won't be after this. Okay, let's do the math now. This added it. This got rid of it. Mark was added. Mark was added. Chosen Undead was played. We're down to 1 mark. Second mark is added at the start of the turn. Gin and Tonic goes down to 1 mark. Dreamy Genie goes down to 0 marks. So right now it's at nothing. No counters on the base. It's an interesting interaction. So right now, so their choice is Okay, considering the straightened out pumpkin patch math, it might be better for them to replay Wish for Fame and play another Dreamy Genie instead to get a counter on the base. Although I don't know that they would. Eh. Okay. Right now the scenario is Dark Weirdos are choosing what mode Pumpkin Patch is in, whether these guys replay Wish for Fame or Wish for Power. It might actually be in their interest to score the base, because off count is going to draw 6 cards, and compared to not scoring the base this turn, which is probably going to still set them behind in points because they might really want Chaos Flame. And getting those 6 cards at the end of their turn instead of before their turn. I think it makes sense. Let me know what you think down below. I think I am going to do this though. So this goes back on. Okay. Now we score Pumpkin Patch. Let's see. These guys get to go first. They don't have anything though. None of these do anything. We're going to take away the Wish for Power. Power now. So it's 12 effective to 15 effective. So if we get rid of this, and then we get rid of parry, that's 9 to 9. No, it's 10 to 9. So Dark Weirdos have some decisions to make. Well, they're going to do off count first. Yeah, definitely off count first. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. Ooh, that's some good stuff. Okay, now they might want Izalith, because that's a couple of buried cards. Now they really might want Izalith. This is interesting. Oh, I forgot Ifrit's talent. Oh yeah, I totally did. These guys should have counters. Yeah, that definitely makes the decision for them on whether or not to do a bit of chaos easier. Yeah, no, Ifrit does not get one. Okay, yeah, this makes the decision definitely a lot easier for them, because even getting rid of both of these, well, no, getting rid of both of these, they're not going to swing the base, or even just keeping these. The best I can do is tie, and that's probably not worth losing speed on Izalith, because Izalith just really jumped up in value, especially with Gravelord Nito coming in hot. Yeah, I think what they need to do is get a move on. So Introvert's going to move away. This is shaping up to be a really good game. Chosen Undead will destroy a bit of chaos and draw Izalith Catalyst. Again, they can't do anything. Yeah, and Cursed couldn't do anything, so that's it. These guys get 4. These guys get 2. This all goes away. Ooh, Central Soup. Things are looking pretty good for Dark Souls right now. Okay. What are they doing? A double score of Daybreak Tavern and Forest of Nibel would get them to 11, 14. 14, 13, potentially, if it's neither of them are solos. No, Liquid Humanity wasn't worth playing. Phantom Allies came back. This is definitely the time where this deck wishes it had real extra actions and not just easily. But I think we start stacking stuff on the introvert. The question is just what do we do with Daybreak? Considering how much stuff we just drew, it might not be the worst thing to not use it, but at the same time, there are some cards that probably won't get used. I don't necessarily want to get rid of Curse. Maybe get rid of Phantom Allies, because that's probably not gonna get used, because there's just so much better stuff in here. Like, Lord Vessel's gonna be good. You can grab Seath Soul for... Yeah, probably Crystal Armor is better in this scenario. Moonlight Greatsword could be really good, though, if we get a big minion. That's pretty slow plan to win. That is a plan to win, for certain. Like, that's going Daybreak, and then Greatsword drops you out on Sook for the win. And that's kind of dangerous, because the score would be tied 11-11, and Central Sook is prime territory at that point. They do have to be mindful that Jedi don't double score Daybreak and Forest of Nibel, because that would be a win for them. So that is something they have to be very mindful of. With that in mind, I think they have to push Daybreak. And they have to start milling their deck down as much as they can. Because, yeah, the path I see to victory for them now is Moonlight Greatsword, which they would use to break Daybreak, ideally, and then that minion drops out on Central Sook. Although, yeah, that requires holding on for a pretty long time. So the other option is... What is the other option? Let's think. Because this is an introvert. It can move away anyway. But you could also argue that you might want to save as many minions as possible. So yeah, maybe we don't need Moonlight Greatsword, actually. It still could very well be worth boxing Seath just for Crystal Armor. Could be valuable in the last couple of turns against Djinni shenanigans. It's too bad we haven't seen 4 Kings, because either of these would be pretty good. Having a bit of trouble deciding what to play this turn. Maybe we start with a Blacksmith on Central Sook, because that can play Izalith, and then play Lord Vessel. So then we would be able to put Moonlight Greatsword in the deck for next turn, potentially, to draw that. It's not the most likely thing ever, but it does up the breakpoint by 1 at least. But yeah, I think I do like the idea of Blacksmith here. Yeah, especially with Liquid Humanity. I'm not actually sold on Moonlight Greatsword. Especially with Liquid Humanity in hand, so you don't even need to necessarily play the Introvert. Don't need to necessarily play a Moonlight Greatsword. You can just use. You don't even need to use the Introvert's ability if you need the power, which very well could against Ifrit over there. Oblivious will help, obviously. I think what we will do is we'll play Izalith. Why is it doing that? Whatever. Play Izalith with Blacksmith, and then we play maybe Phantom Allies for more draw counters on Central Souk, because that is still the path to victory I see for them. And then next turn we have Sunlight Warrior for 6 after Izalith, and that would be 6 out of the 11 that would be needed. Then you've got like a Signed Seed Kid or something like that. You can figure it out. And yeah, especially with more draw and reshuffle counters. Yeah, I like that plan. We will play Phantom Allies on Central Souk, and Izalith will uncover it. Place it in the box. And we gain 2 of these. And 2 of these. That was action, minion, talent over here. This guy can't do anything, so I think that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only 1 card over. So this is a choice. We kind of want to keep a 2 around for Liquid Humanity. We also have Offbeat to save the Introvert. So that actually might not be the most important thing ever. I think we still want to keep it. We definitely keep this. We definitely keep that. Maybe we get rid of the other Introvert. I'm kind of a fan of that, actually. Don't think we need that. Okay. These guys. They need to get a move on. They finally have Obi-Wan. Oh. I'm actually realizing that they shouldn't have drawn those because of Central Souk. What were they? That was Blacksmith and Crystal Lizard. So they don't need to discard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, Central Souk means they don't actually draw the cards yet. That's kind of nice. Okay, Daybreak over here. They have not seen their sabers this game like at all. And they're still doing pretty well, which is impressive. 11 over here to break. Breaking this turn would be awesome for them. Can they do it? It's going to be hard. This is 3. Maybe we start with Daybreak. I don't like Kit Fisto, but he's a big minion. Force Meditation. I think it might be too late for Force Meditation. And if we're thinking we need to play on Daybreak anyway. Okay, base case, you've got Kit Fisto for 4, or Obi-Wan for 4. This is 5, 6, 7. This is 10. It's 1 short. Dang. So the base case is 1 power short. We would need a way to eke out one more power. And we can't use future counters the turn we draw them, so it's not like we can get the power counter lightsaber with Obi-Wan to bail us out in that regard. And we can't play a minion modifier because we're hypothetically playing do or do not as our normal action. So it's a gamble. The alternative is... What is the alternative? What's the alternative? The alternative is you push Forest more to really put the pressure on, but that runs the risk of uh, them being able to break Daybreak, which might be the case anyway. Maybe we use Force Push to maybe we use Force Push in order to put more power on Force of Nibel. Because if we put 12 power there, then even if they can break Daybreak without the Introvert there, like that'll force Force of Nibel to score. And with a 9 power Ifrit there, they would need a Chosen Undead to get rid of their presence there. And that seems pretty unlikely. It would be Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan would make 8. This would make 10. And you figure 12. The other thing we haven't seen in this game is Impatient. That could easily be lurking in there, in their hand especially. Well, they would have had to already have it. Oh, actually, no. Obi-Wan is 5 because of Ifrit. Obi-Wan Kenobi gets a minion modifier for Ifrit to queue off of. So they can break Daybreak this turn. Okay. In that case... what do we do? What do we box? I'm not a fan of Kit Fisto. I might just box him. We could also box Force Meditation. Because which 4s have we not? Oh, we've actually seen very few of the Jedi. Well, okay, we've seen 4 of them. We haven't seen Yoda, we haven't seen Mace Windu, and we haven't seen Qui-Gon. Those are all really good ones. Qui-Gon would be a way to save a saber. With 18 cards left in the deck, I think we can afford to box Kit, knowing that there is a high likelihood that we get other 4s. Okay, Yoda is not a way to save a lightsaber, but that's fine. Obi-Wan, which lightsaber is the least valuable? Or alternatively, which one do we need one more counter for to win next turn? Because if I remember correctly, yeah, they go to another of your minions. So we would only get the one. You figure that introvert is... Dark Souls has enough ways to save the introvert that you figure that Izalith is staying in play. If they solo Central Souk, that would be a score of... It would be 9 9 over here to 13 over here, and then 13 to 13, which makes pushing Forest of Invaluable dangerous. Hmm. I think we still grab the green one, just because it's uh, having one more power. It's okay, but it's not earth-shattering. Yeah, it's not earth-shattering at all, but it might make the difference. It's certainly more likely to make the difference than one reshuffle or one card. Ifrit will use its talent. And, and this is when Ifrit might start backfiring if they can solo Central Sook and turn that into a score with Nibel as well. But yeah, they're going to do it for sure. Green Lightsaber will use its talent to gain another future draw counter. Where did that fourth... Oh, did I use that one? Okay, whatever. Yeah, they should have 4 right now. They used 3 they can use, and they used Do or Do Not for the last 3 power. Yeah, we didn't affect Ifrit at all, so that's fine. Okay. Daybreak is scoring. Yeah, they don't want to use the draw yet, just in case. Daybreak is scoring. What will they do? They've got some tricks up their sleeve. Yeah, they can't use Introvert to score Nibel immediately. They're probably going to use Offbeat to move the Introvert after the base scores. Probably to Central Sook. Have 5 power there. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like it could potentially be a game-winning move. So we'll invoke Introvert and play Offbeat to resolve it after the base scores instead. Points are awarded for here to here. Now Introvert moves away, and the minus power isn't going to matter. So these all go away. End of turn. Okay, start a turn. They draw those cards with Central Sook. And do they win this turn? It's more likely than you might think. They need 13 base busting power to do Central Sook, and then they'd need another 7 power to score Nightwolf. Introvert's minus power might make the difference there. Sunlight Warrior can be 6 with Izalith on Sook. Maybe we start using our draw counters. Is there anything we might want back? Contrarian? Maybe. Because we need 13 to start over there. Assigned Seat Kid would be nice, but it's a little too late for that. It's a little, yeah, we don't have time to do it in a meaningful way. Like, if we had one more turn, potentially we could play it on Forest and then use that to swap the Blacksmith, for example, although that's still a power decrease. I think you can see some shenanigans that can be done with that, though. Hmm. What would a Contrarian accomplish? It would allow the introvert to move and gain power instead of lose it, which would be the 7 that's needed for Forest on its own. So if we hypothetically play a Contrarian as our minion, that's 8 out of 18. Sunlight Warrior as our normal action is 11, 14 out of 18. And then Blacksmith's talent has to somehow make 4 power. That seems hard. It would play a minion modifier. Play a minion modifier on another minion that has none of your actions on it. The only minion that would be is the hypothetical Contrarian. Hypothetically, if you shuffled back an off and played Contrarian off, this is where, what's it called? Gravelord Sword is handy. We also haven't seen Pyromancy Flames. The other option, of course, is we just break Sook and live to fight another day, although I think that favors the opponent. In that, if we did that, then Sunlight is 6 out of 13. You need 7 more. I say we start using draw counters. If we hit an Impatient, then we can hold off and just get Gravelord Sword with Gravelord Nito. If we saw Pyromancy Flame, it doesn't. It just adds a power counter right now, but that would be good for. That would still be good for playing Gravelord Sword. Let's start using them. I think this is the time for it. Okay, that's good to keep in mind. Keep it over here. Number 2, Bonfire. I think we'll do one more. 4 Kings. The Something that is an option here is we do Come At Me on Central Sook. We do Come At Me on Central Sook and threaten a double break with Forest of Nibel on the opponent turn. That would be really difficult to set up, though. 4 Kings on Central Sook isn't a bad idea, because it at least forces them to store the cards. But that's not gonna matter much if it ends the game. It's unfortunate that we don't have another Chosen Undead. Would have really liked that. Nope, no Pyromancy Flame still. That's unfortunate. Come At Me. We could do Control Freak. Although Control Freak isn't actually doing much. Uh, hmm. It'd be better to do a signed seat kid on another base, I think, because that boots your biggest minion off and gives you +2. So let's think here. Sunlight Warrior would go to 8 power out of 15 breakpoint. 8 power out of 15 breakpoint. Mm, and then one of the fours, let's say, is 12 out of 15. Hmm. Yeah, it's not quite enough to break Central Souk even normally. Yeah, so I think what we do is we do this. Well, okay, the other problem here is that just breaking Force of Nibel wins the game, but we've got Chosen Undead here, and we've got Assigned Seat Kid here. Um, so Assigned Seat Kid could at least steal attachments, and we've got Cursed as well. Chosen Undead, it can be played around, but it's going to be harder for Jedi to do so. So it's not the biggest concern ever. You the real question is, do we actually go for the gutsy play on Central Souk? Okay. I guess before we do this, we consider Blacksmith talent, because it's not going to play a minion modifier, I don't think. There aren't any minion modifiers at all in here. So yeah, we'll do Blacksmith talent for the top of Dark card deck. Okay, nope. Okay, now we just do this. Sunlight Warrior, box it. Power counters. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I think this is the right play. Because if they go for this, we've got this and Cursed. Cursed would be worth 3, which is quite a bit. And then over here, we've got this to steal attachments at least, and Chosen Undead. So we're set up to swing any base. Well, okay. The problem with Nibel there is the problem with going for Nibel there is they win if they lose the base. I actually didn't consider that until now, so it might be better to put Assigned Seat Kid here. Yeah, because then they can potentially kick off 2 minions, which is hard enough for them to play, for a Jedi to play. Yeah, this is good. I like this. Okay, so we do Central Souk. Impatient. Okay. Over here. What do we got? I mean, obviously, if they can break Force at Nibel, they win. Well, they need at least 2 minions. Well, they actually need quite a bit. It's interesting. So it might, this is actually a pretty threatening position, because they need 3 minions on Nibel to win and still have presence, to break the base and still have presence. Because Assigned Seat Kid gets rid of one, Chosen Undead gets rid of another, So unless it's two minions that are both 3 or less, which just look at this hand, that's not happening. They have to go for Central Souk, which with Force Push is not out of the question. Can they do the 12 power that would be needed there? And you also have to think accounting for specials like Cursed. It's a good question. Yoda, yeah, Force Speed, unfortunately, can't yet. There's not enough future counters for it to be a time loop. I mean, if it was, even, that would be 4 -5 for 8 for 9 effective. -9 effective power. Well, you still added a net of -2. You need to still add a net of 3. Yoda, Force Push, spend your last. Oh, okay, Qui-Gon would be better in that regard. So 4, 5, 6 with the future counter. Force Push 11 effective. That's still not enough. You need at least 12. It's tricky. Tricky, tricky, tricky. They've actually set up a pretty threatening board here. It's funny. They're way ahead on points, but this is a really threatening position. And breaking Central Souk is really not an option because it leaves the score at 13 here to 14 here, and then Force Deniable wins the game. And they can't put minions on both. So what they could do is do like Qui-Gon and force push the introvert away to a very large telescope to stall. Because that's still a net of -1 power, equal or less printed power. So they could burn a Djinni, burn a Dreamy Djinni, force push the introvert away. I mean, the other option is wish to win a base, and that is an option. That is definitely an actual option. The problem is assign Seat Kid. Because assign Seat Kid automatically swaps the VP rewards back, and it takes the +5 power. So you'd have to put it on assigned Seat Kid, but even in that, assigned Seat Kid can get out of it. So yeah, this completely negates this as an option entirely on multiple fronts. So yeah, the best thing they can do is probably just stall. And they have to remove power from Central Souk, really. That's really what they have to do. So the best way to do that is Djinni force push away the introvert. Yeah, I don't even think it's worth using the counters yet because they're not doing anything other than the base case of drawing a card, which we can do next turn. So yeah, it's looking like Dark Souls might pull out the win here. And these are not bad. This could be effective against the introvert stopping a double score, but we'll see if that's needed or not. Because these guys draw these cards, which means they have an Impatient in hand now. And that can do a couple of different things. Okay, obviously they want to try and double score something with Forest of Nibel. And it's going to be easier if it's Central Souk. Izalith is still a factor. Izalith for Lord Vessel on its own is -7 to bring this to enough. So that's just the normal action play. That's pretty good. So you would need minion play and talents and stuff for Force of Nibel. Impatient can move the introvert over to Forest for 3 power. Okay, that's 8. Then you that's easy enough. That just does it. That's easy. Okay. So Impatient, play it with the special. Move over introvert. It gets -2. Then normal action is Lord Vessel. Bury it. Use Izalith to uncover it. When we uncover this card, place a minion in our discard pile into the box, and then raise it over the big point by its power. What the heck, we'll get Seath. Yeah. This goes away. Lower the breakpoint by 4. Izalith places these. Izalith is awesome. I will not stand for Izalith slander. Okay. And then we have normal minion, which is just going to be Control Freak. That's all we need. Blacksmith, can you do anything? I guess for the fun of it, we will draw. Oh, Pyromancy thing. Funny. Yeah. Blacksmith can play this for another power counter. Yay, overdoing it by 1. Okay. Central Souk is scoring. We can actually use Cursed to get rid of the Dreamy Genie. And get these 4 points solo. Oh, no. And when this happens, there's 12 power on Forest of Nibel, so its breakpoint is gone. And we'll do Force of Nibel. That's 3 VP. And that's game. 16-13, Dark Souls wins. Dark Souls and Weirdos. All right. Hope you enjoyed this game. There will be one more exhibition match before the tournament proper begins at the start of the new year, or around then anyway. All right. Thank you for watching.